Hello friends, welcome to Winmin e-learning. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம 10th social scienceல lesson 13 ஓட part 3 வீடியோ பார்க்கலாம். Question number 51. What were the reasons for the Vellore mutiny in 1806? The correct answer is option D, all the above. That is new dress code for Indian soldiers, discrimination in salary and promotions. The Indian soldiers thought that the dress code was part of their conversion to Christianity. 1806 வேலூர் சிப்பாய் மியூட்னிக்கு நிறைய வேரியஸ் ரீசன்ஸ் இருந்தது. அதில் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இட் வாஸ் அகெயின்ஸ்ட் த நியூ ட்ரெஸ் கோட் which prohibited Indians from wearing religious marks on their foreheads. And in the dress code change that was part of their effort to convert soldiers to Christianity ன்னு அந்த சிப்பாய்ஸ் ஃபீல் பண்ணாங்க. அதே போல் the சிப்பாய்ஸ் were also upset with the discrimination in salary and promotion. ஏன்னா இந்தியன் சிப்பாய்ஸ் they were paid much less than their European counterparts. Question number 52. In which year the Barakpur Sepoys refused to go to Burma by sea? The correct answer is option C, 1824. 1824, the Sepoys at Barakpur, that was near Calcutta, they refused to go to Burma by sea since they believed that crossing the sea will be the loss of their caste. அப்படின்னு ஒரு நம்பிக்கை அவங்களுக்கு இருந்தது. ஸோ தே ரெஃப்யூஸ் டு கோ டு பர்மா பை சி. Question number 53. Assertion and reasoning. Assertion. The key reason for the outbreak of 1857 is the rumors about the new cartridges. Reasoning. It was believed that the new cartridges had been greased with cow and pig fat. The correct answer is option A. Both the statement and the reason is true, and the reason correctly explains the statement. The precursor of 1857 revolt ன்னு சொல்லப்படுறது என்னன்னா, there was a rumor circulating about the cartridges of new Enfield rifle. அதில் ஒரு strong suspicion என்னன்னா, அந்த new cartridges எல்லாமே they have been greased with cow and pig fat ன்னு there was a rumor. Question number 54. Choose the correct statements. Mangal Pandey, a sepoy, assaulted his European officer. Mangal Pandey and his fellow Indian soldiers were hanged to death. Death of Mangal Pandey increased the disobedience acts in the army cantonments. The correct answer is option D. All the above statements are correct. 29th March, a sepoy named Mangal Pandey, he assaulted his European officers. So, அவரோட fellow soldiers எல்லாமே they refused to arrest him when ordered to do so, that is when ordered to arrest Mangal Pandey. And so the Mangal Pandey along with others were court martialized and they were hanged to death. ஸோ இது அப்போ இருந்த சிப்பாஸ் மத்தியில் ஒரு ஆங்கரை ஃபியூவல் பண்ணுச்சுன்னு சொல்லலாம். ஸோ இதனால there were increasing number of incidents in the disobedience in the army cantonments. Question number 55. When a band of Sipais marched to Red Fort in Delhi? The correct answer is option A, 11th May 1857. 11th May 1857 ஒரு band of Sipais from Meerut marched to the Red Fort in Delhi. So these Sipais were followed by equally exuberant crowd who gathered to ask the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah to become their leader. Question number 56. Who was announced as the Emperor of Hindustan by the rebels? The correct answer is option C, Bahadur Shah II. May 11th, 1857 ஒரு பேண்ட் ஆஃப் சிப்பாய்ஸ் மீரட்லேருந்து டெல்லியில் இருக்க ரெட் ஃபோர்ட்டை நோக்கி மார்ச் பண்ணுறாங்க. They were asking Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II to become their leader. So after much hesitation, Bahadur Shah II accepted this offer and he was proclaimed as the Sahanshah-e-Hindustan, அதாவது the Emperor of Hindustan. Question number 57. Which places were under the control of British after the mutiny? The correct answer is option A, Punjab. The news of fall of Reach it reached the Ganges Valley cantonment after cantonment mutinied till by the beginning of June. பிரிட்டிஷ் ரூல் இன் நார்த் இந்தியா, அதாவது எக்ஸப்ட் இன் பஞ்சாப் அண்ட் பெங்கால் வந்து டிஸப்பியர் ஆச்சுன்னு சொல்லலாம். Question number 58. Choose the correct statements. The 1857 mutiny was not supported by the Rural Society of North India. Sepoys working in the British Army was trained officers from India. The Sepoy mutiny was considered as a just disobedience of soldiers in their part of provinces. The correct answer is option D. None above the statements are correct. In the mutiny it was equally supported by aggrieved Rural Society of North India and சொல்லலாம். The Sepoys working in the British Army was in fact peasants in the uniform. So the Sepoy revolt and the subsequent civil rebellion of various parts of India had a deep-rooted connection with the rural mass. Question number 59. From which of these regions of India the first civil rebellion broke out? The correct answer is option B, Northwest provinces. The first rebellion, civil rebellion it broke out in the parts of northwestern provinces and south. So these were the two regions from where the Sepoys were predominantly recruited. Question number 60. Assertion. The Zamindars and Talukdars were also attacked by the rebels. Reasoning. The Indian weavers and handicrafts of the British industries were out of employment. The correct answer is option B. Both the statement and the reason is true, but the reason does not explain the statement A. A large number of Zamindarum Talukdarsum were also attracted to the rebellions as they had lost their various privileges under the British government. So the dumping of British manufacturers it ruined the Indian handicrafts and thrown thousands of weavers out of employment and சொல்லலாம். So in the collective anger எல்லாம் தான் against the British, it took form of people's revolt. Question number 61. Who was leading against the British in Kanpur region? The correct answer is option A, Nana Sahib. The mutiny, it provided a platform to aggravate kings, nawabs, queens and zamindars to express their anti-British anger. So idhula Nana Sahib, who was the adopted son of last Peshwa Bajirao II he provided the leadership in the Kanpur region. Question number 62. Name the Governor General who annexed Jhansi under the doctrine of lapse. The correct answer is option B, Lord Dalhousie. Dalhousie he was the Governor General of Bengal and he had refused Jhansi Rani's request to adopt a son as her successor after her husband died. So the kingdom it was annexed under the doctrine of lapse. Question number 63. Which of the army divisions were restored by the British after the mutiny? The correct answer is option D, all the above, that is Agra, Allahabad and Meerut. By the beginning of June 1857, Delhi, Meerut, Rohilkhand, Agra, Allahabad and Banaras divisions of army it had been restored to British control and placed under martial law. So the British officers they were given power to judge and take the life of Indians without due process of law. Question number 64. Choose the correct statements. William Howard Russell is an army officer in India at the time of revolt. In 1858, Colonel Neil ordered a march from Allahabad to Kanpur. The correct answer is option B. Statement 2 alone is correct. William Howard Russell he was the correspondent of London Times who was in India at the year 1858 and he met an officer who was a part of the column that under Colonel Neil's order marched from Allahabad to Kanpur. Question number 65. State the causes of the failures of the Sepoy Mutiny 1857. It was well organized and well planned rebellion. There was a lack of support among the Indian princes to participate in the rebellion. The English educated middle class supported the rebellion. There was no central authority and no common agenda in the revolt. The correct answer is option D. The statement 4 alone is correct. So there was no evidence to prove that the rebellion of 1857 was organized and planned and prove பண்ணுறதுக்கு எந்த விதமான எவிடன்ஸும் இல்லை. And it was a spontaneous event ன்னு சொல்லலாம். And there was a general lack of enthusiasm among the Indian princes to participate in the rebellion. So the emerging English educated middle class people they did not support the rebellion too. So one of the most important reasons for the failure பார்க்கணுன்னா the rebellion the absence of ஒரு central authority இல்லை. ஸோ அதனால ஒரு காமன் அஜெண்டா இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸை யுனைட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு எந்த விதமான அஜெண்டாவும் மேக் பண்ண முடியலை. Question number 66. Which of these factors were lagging in the rebel leaders of the revolt? The correct answer is option D, all the above. That is organization, weapons and discipline. By the end of 1857 revolt, the rebellion it was brutally suppressed by the British army in சொல்லலாம். And the rebel leaders were defeated due to the lack of weapons, organization, discipline and betrayal by their aides. Question number 67. Who was captured in Delhi by the British forces? The correct answer is option A, Bahadur Shah II. Delhi it was captured by the British troops in late 1857 சொல்லலாம். So Bahadur Shah was captured and transported to Burma. Question number 68. When the Indian Government Act was adopted by the British Parliament? The correct answer is option A, November 1858. British Parliament it adopted the Indian Government Act in November 1858 and India it was pronounced as one of the many crown colonies that was directly governed by the Parliament. Question number 69. Who was the responsible person to govern India after adopting the Indian Government Act? The correct answer is option B, the Secretary of State for India. British Parliament Indian Government Act அடாப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறாங்க எப்போன்னா நவம்பர் 1858ல. ஸோ இந்தியாவோட கவர்னன்ஸ் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி was given to a member of the cabinet who was designated as the Secretary of State for India. Question number 70. Assertion and reasoning. Assertion. The Indian affairs were regularly reviewed by the British Parliament. Reasoning. The British Crown had taken over the power of governance from the East Indian Company. The correct answer is option A. Both the statement and the reason is true and the reason correctly explains the statement. As per the Indian Government Act of 1858, power of Indian government was transferred to the East India Company இருந்து British Crownக்கு transfer ஆகுது. So that it means that there was a regular parliamentary review of Indian affairs. Question number 71. What were the social reforms made by the Queen Victoria? The correct answer is option A. The British government would not interfere in religious and traditional matters of Indian people. British rule அப்புறம் அதோட பாலிசிஸ்லாம் they underwent a major overhaul after 1857 revolt ன்னு சொல்லலாம். So the British followed a cautious approach to the issue of social reform in India. Queen Victoria Indian peopleக்கு ஒரு proclamation கொடுக்குறாங்க. அதாவது the British will not interfere in the traditional institutions and religious matters. And it was also promised that Indians would be absorbed in government services also. Question number 72. What were the important changes in Indian army structure after the Queen's crown? The number of Indians were increased. The Indians were restrained from holding important ranks and positions. The British took the control of artillery. The number of Indian soldiers was reduced in the army. The correct answer is option B. The statement 2, 3 and 4 alone is correct. குயின் விக்டோரியா வந்து 2 சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் சேஞ்ச் வந்து இந்தியன் ஆர்மியோட ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் வந்து ஏற்படுத்துகிறாங்க. த நம்பர் ஆஃப் இந்தியன்ஸ் வந்து வாஸ் சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட்லி ரெடியூஸ்டுன்னு சொல்லலாம். அதே போல் த இந்தியன்ஸ் வேர் ரீஸ்ட்ரெயின்ட் ஃப்ரம் ஹோல்டிங் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ரேங்க்ஸ் அண்ட் பொசிஷன்ஸ் இன் தி ஆர்மி. அப்புறம் இந்த பிரிட்டிஷ் வந்து தே டுக் control of artillery and they shifted their recruiting effort to regions and communities which remained loyal during 1857 revolt. Question number 73. Assertion and reasoning. Assertion: the British governance followed a divide and rule policy in India. Reasoning: the British exploited the caste, religious and linguistic differences of Indian society. The correct answer is option A. Both the statement and the reason is true and the reason correctly explains the statement. British governments வந்து it exploited the caste, religious and linguistic regional differences in the Indian society ன்னு சொல்லலாம். So this came to be known as the divide and rule policy of the British government in India. Question number 74. What did India mainly exported to British in the early 19th century? The correct answer is option A, indigo. Before synthetic dyes, natural indigo dye வந்து it was created and it was highly valued by cloth makers around the world. So by the early 19th century வந்து India it supplied a vast majority of indigo to the Britain. Question number 75. Choose the incorrect sentences. Many of the Europeans planned to invest in indigo planters in India. The British planters gave cash to the cultivator to pay for the rent of the land. The peasants were forced to cultivate the food grains rather than indigo. The correct answer is option C. The statement 3 alone is incorrect sentence. India were the peasants வந்து they were forced to grow the indigo crop in India ன்னு சொல்லலாம். The British planters வந்து they gave the cultivators a cash advance to help pay for the rent of the land and other cost also. இந்த advance வந்து they needed to be repaid with interest to the British planters and the planters வந்து they were forced to grow the indigo rather than any other food crops. So with this we'll complete the part 3 video of lesson 13. For more online test packages and online materials, download the WinMean e-learning app from the Play Store and visit the official website winmean.com. And இதோட details எல்லாமே இந்த வீடியோக்கு கீழே டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷனில் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். Kindly make use of it. Thank you.